What's up everybody, Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. Doing another training video here about sealing decks. We do not stain decks. We only do clear waterproofing sealant. Any other paint, paint, seals, stains, those will all be referred out. I just have no desire to get involved with them. So this is assuming what we've already done is gone ahead and cleaned and brightened with our sodium hypochlorite mixture, and then brightened with the oxalic mixture. From there, once that's been done, we've given it, and when we're doing the cleaning, maybe let the customer know, hey, I don't have an exact date. We'll be out within the next 2 or 3 days, weather depending, to be able to come back over and seal the deck. As far as preparation beforehand, and certainly in the morning, a couple things we need to make sure that are done. Make sure that we have 2 5-gallon drums of seal. Make sure that you check to see what's in them. Obviously, if it's completely brand new, then that one's not an issue, but make sure whatever's in the other one, because sometimes we do use those for storing used motor oil in it. As far as, and so we got to get 2 things of seal. Make sure that we have 2 different ways to apply the mixture, or apply the seal. So either the Chem Caddy and a pump-up sprayer, or 2 pump-up sprayers. One way or another, we're not going to have just one thing, because if it doesn't work, then you're stuck. Make sure that we have cardboard. A couple pieces, larger the better. Make sure that we have some old lawn signs. Never use a brand new one, unless it's a very, very big emergency. Can't use anything else, which would be very, very rare. And make sure that we have a couple rags. So as far as the actual process and preparation before we do the cleaning, before we do the sealing, I want to go ahead and wet any concrete that's around there, wet any plants down. If there's any real delicate plants, we're going to go ahead and cover those up with the Tyvek. If there's not any delicate plants, then go ahead and take the wet rag, wipe down any vinyl, any glass, any siding, anywhere near where it could be hit. At the ends, up next to the house, we want to either throw a tarp or the cardboard right there. And then basically going to edge everything out. We're going to start from the outside, do the outside of the deck first. The reason why we want to do the outside before the inside is because, let's say we've done the inside first, so that's all, looks great, it's a little bit tacky and everything, and then we clean the then we seal the outside. If we end up overspraying, you're going to have to go back up onto that sealed deck and then try and get that taken care of. It's just not going to turn out well. Versus if you do the outside first, you can always fix anything that's been messed up on the inside. So outside first, then the inside of the rails, then the inside floorboards, and obviously seal it from the up next to the house all the way to the outside of the deck. That way you're not painting yourself into a corner, as they say. When we're up next to the house, you want to use the lawn sign or the cardboard to go ahead and edge out. If we're only missing, a 1/4 of an inch, that's going to be perfectly fine there. Once you've sprayed 2 or 3, ideally 3 boards at least, then at that point we're no longer going to need to edge it. You just need to make sure that when you're spraying it, that you're spraying away. If the house is here, we're spraying it this way instead of like that, because that's going to get overspray on there. Any metal spindles, we need to make sure that we're wiping those down, wetting those with the rag first. And then, again, go through it, check all your work. As far as for the customer, a couple things we need to let them know. No animals on the deck for at least 24 hours. It will be fine for them to walk on within an hour. And it's going to feel tacky for at least 24 hours until the next rainfall. Because it's got that, again, the seal. We're only going to do 1 clear coat. A thin coat is best. If you do it too thick, it's going to end up puddling or running. Another big thing to look at when you're doing the railings, start at the bottom, or really doesn't matter that much. Just make sure you're not getting too much mix on it, but go and you're gonna clean two sides, or get basically the front and the right, and then come over and get from the other side, you're gonna get that left side, or vice versa. Just go all the way across an entire section of fencing, cleaning that front and the right, go all the way down, and then come back and do all the left sides or vice versa. And then obviously do the inside when we do the inside afterwards. Sorry, Mom, I do an estimate as well. Once we're done, want to go ahead and make sure obviously all your tarps are taken off, double check, make sure you didn't get any overspray on anything, and deal with it if you have. As far as the rest of the sealant, so at that point we want to go ahead and dump the sealant into the barrel. Make sure that you release the pressure and just put your rag on top of it first, if we're using a pump up sprayer, and then one that's on top of it, just twist it off. That way you're not going to get a face full of seal. It's not fun. Don't do that. Also make sure we're using, face mask on there. And stuff's not fun to breathe. And take note of the wind. If we're doing something, and it's covered backyard, that's great. But unfortunately, a lot of times when we're doing these seal jobs, we're out in an area where wind is going to be an issue. Pull over for the last bit here. Once you've dumped out the majority of the sealant, go ahead and take water, swirl it around in it, dump it. Don't dump it on a plant, dump it in the woods somewhere or whatever, or on the rocks, something. And you may not even want to do it on the rocks, depending on where you're at. And then fill it up about halfway with water, swirl it around again, pump it up, pressurize it, and spray through it. At this point too, we want to try and take the tips off, make sure that they're getting cleaned out, and then release the pressure, but leave, I don't know, leave like a quarter tank full of water in it. Never ever leave any solution in any of the 12 volt or any of the pump up sprayers or any of them. They all need to be flushed with water 100% of the time. No excuses. Pricing wise with the seal jobs, we're basically at $195 for the minimum, and goes up from there. Just depends on how much square footage we're going to be sealing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's any changes to this, it's because I've specifically told you to do differently. Do not do something different than what is on this video. Thanks.